50 high-powered individuals were charged Tuesday in what federal prosecutors are calling the largest college admissions scam ever. The alleged scheme revealed the lengths some wealthy parents will go to get their children admitted to prestigious universities. The indictment claims the dozens involved committed bribery and fraud. The news has led to many to question whether the higher education system is rigged for the wealthy. Adam Smith in The Atlantic says there is a potential solution. He writes, one way to stop college admissions insanity is to admit more students. And Adam Harris joins me now from our D.C. bureau. He's a staff writer at The Atlantic, where he covers education. Adam, thanks for being with us. You write that this admissions scandal, quote, genuinely shocked many higher education experts, but maybe it shouldn't have. Why was this not surprising to you?
So this is sort of the natural result of scarcity in higher education, particularly in elite higher education, where you have a few selective institutions with very few seats, and you have thousands and thousands and thousands of people who are vying for those seats. And a lot of parents view entry into these elite colleges as sort of a marker of success for their students, not only success of getting in, but also setting them up for future promise. So when you have this highly selective system that a lot of people are trying to get into, it will kind of breed or foster these kind of unsavory ways or alleged unsavory ways of trying to get in up to, this kind of alleged fraud.
Well, you propose that if selective colleges were less selective, there would be less incentive to cheat to get in. So what benefits and what challenges does changing the system in that way pose?
So essentially, one of the reasons why these colleges may not want to admit more students is because there's kind of a premium on prestige, and that prestige is kind of buoyed by being more selective. The more people who want to get into your institution, the more it becomes like an exclusive country club. I spoke with one college president yesterday who essentially said we've created a crisis of access to these selective institutions by the few number of seats that we allow students to be admitted into.
And on another topic, Adam, I know you cover affirmative action cases extensively, and I want to pull some of your reporting from October of last year. You reported on how a Supreme Court case found the University of Michigan was using race in admissions the wrong way. Then the state stepped in and minority enrollment dropped. When it comes to higher education, what are some of the systemic issues that minorities face?
So essentially, minorities have historically faced a range of issues in higher education. So even from the genesis of the state university system that we see right now, that blacks were kind of systemically excluded from, and they've kind of never sort of recovered. You've worked through several periods historically of these access programs for minority students, including affirmative action, which some states have banned. And as a result of that, they've seen, in the states that have banned affirmative action, they've seen their minority enrollments drop, particularly among African Americans, and they haven't necessarily recovered after that. So one of the challenges, the primary challenge at this point, appears to be a problem of access, and that's access across the board. But even as kind of minority enrollments have increased at some of the more access-oriented institutions, I'm thinking public regional institutions, the Georgia State universities, Texas State universities, you've kind of seen stagnant enrollments at elite colleges. And so that's a problem that they're really trying to address right now.
And finally, Adam, how are admissions policies becoming a political talking point today? And do you see this as becoming more of an issue for the 2020 campaign?
So admissions kind of come down to this question of fairness, and it's hard to know what is exactly fair when this is happening in kind of a black box. Students have their GPAs and their test scores and their extracurriculars, and they feed them to admissions officers, and who ultimately decide, yes, this student gets in, no, this student does not get in. And people, when you've created a system where people are unaware of how that decision is being made, and it could be being made arbitrarily, it could be a combination of factors, that is going to breed criticism. And I think as we are moving into the election season, and that's kind of this question of fairness and equality is going to be a major issue.
All right, Adam Harris in Washington for us. Adam, thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.